Greetings to all. This is Ranjini working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering at RMD College of Engineering. This is a part 2 video about the constructor. In part 1 video, we learned about what is constructor, the type of constructor, and in detail about the default constructor. Here we can see in detail about parameterized constructor and copy constructor. So first one is a parameterized constructor. Parameterized constructor is nothing but it passes a parameter, that is it passes an argument. In default constructor will not pass any argument, but in parameterized constructor it will pass an argument. See here, see the syntax here, the class name is demo, so the constructor name is also demo. So here we are passing two arguments in a comma int b. As the two argument we are passing into it, so we call it as a parameterized constructor. This is a simple program. Here our class name is a, so I'm creating a constructor name is also a. Since it's the parameterized constructor, so into the argument I'm passing int x comma int y. So now we know constructor we mainly use to assign a variable value for a data member. So I'm assigning x to a and y to b. Next one is a normal member function. Here I'm adding c is equal to a plus b, and finally we are displaying the sum. So let's move into the main program. Here now into the main program, first I'm creating an object. The object a, class name is a and object name is e2. Since it's the parameterized constructor, so into the argument I'm passing two value. Here we have written a constructor with two arguments. So in object itself I'm passing two values. So automatically the compiler will go and search for a parameterized constructor with two arguments. Finally a2 dot display of. So we are assigning what does 6 comma 7 mean is the value of a is 6 and value of 7 is b is 7. So a2 dot display of. Here c equal to a plus b. So we will move on to this. Finally 6 plus 7 will be added and final sum is equal to 13 will be displayed. Next one is the copy constructor. Copy constructor is overloaded constructor used to declare and initialize an object from another object. Okay, why do we go for a copy constructor? Suppose I'm having one constructor or an object, that exact value, whatever value is present in the particular object has to be copied to the other object. In that case, we will go for a copy constructor. See here, this one is a normal parameterized constructor. See how to create a copy constructor is here what we have to do is into the argument we have to pass the other constructor using its reference. Okay, for a copy constructor, normally for a parameterized constructor will pass two arguments, but here into the argument we will pass the other constructor with its reference. Some other constructor with its reference has to be passed into the copy constructor. So next one is a simple program for a copy constructor. Class a, the name of the class is a, to three data member a, b and c is right. Next one is the parameterized constructor. So here's the normal parameterized constructor with two arguments. The next part is the copy constructor. So here what happens, the class name is a and in the argument what we are passing is the other constructor with its reference. So what we have to do, we have to assign the data member, isn't it? So I'm assigning the old constructor values a to new a and old b to new b. So I'm assigning the value of old value to the new value. This is a normal member function. Let's move on to the main function. So what happens first? Now I'm creating an object, class name object a2. Object a2, this is a parameterized constructor. Since I'm passing two arguments, parameterized constructor with two arguments will be executed. So a2 dot display of c plus a, c equal to a plus b will be added. Finally, sum will be displayed. So this is how to create an object for a copy constructor. So what we are doing, class name is a and the constructor name is a3. Here I'm assigning object a2. Object a2 I'm assigning to object a3. This is how to assign a value for a copy constructor. Object a2 is assigned to a3. So whatever value is present in an object a2 will be assigned to our new object a3. So a3 dot display of same thing will happen. So c plus b c equal to a plus b will be added. Finally, sum will be displayed. Let us make this clear by executing one simple program. So class demo, the class name is demo. Okay, here I'm creating three data member a comma b comma c. So public, into the public access specifier I'm creating one constructor with two argument a comma b. So I'm assigning, yeah, let me change this value, or else I have to, if both the data member name and the argument inside the constructor name is same, we have to refer it using this operator. Let me change the name here. So I'm assigning the value of a x to a and B to Y. Okay. Now let me create the other constructor, copy constructor, the class name. So inside I have to into the argument I'm passing, see, class name is, the constructor name is demo. So into the argument I'm passing demo with one reference, I'm passing D. So here what I have to do, I have to a value, old a value, d dot a value is assigned to a, and d dot b value is assigned to a B. This is how to create a copy constructor. I'm ending the class with a semicolon. Let's move on to the main program. So in main program, what we have to do first, we have to create an object. Let the object name is D1. D1. Okay, here let me write one cout statement. Para constructor. It's a normal cout statement I have written. Okay, now let me execute a program. I haven't created anything. I haven't called anything. I have just created an object. We all know if we create an object, automatically the constructor will be included at the time of creation itself. So let me run a program. No matching font. So what does it mean is, see here, I have created an object for a default constructor. Here we don't have any default constructor. We are having only parameterized constructor, isn't it? So let me write one default constructor and let's execute the program. A equal to 10, B equal to 67. Now see out. Let me write as default. Okay, now let's run the default is printed, isn't it? What happens, I've just created an object. I haven't called anything. I have just created an object. So automatically the default constructor is called. Into that there is one cout statement. That particular cout statement is printed. So let me write one more member function to add two numbers. Okay. C equal to A plus B. Sum is equal to. Okay. Now let me call that sum part. So here what happens, d dot sum of, calling it. So what happens, I have invoked a default constructor, isn't it? I've created an object for a default constructor. So automatically the value from default constructor 10 and 67 will be added. It will display the output. See, output is sum is equal to 67. Now let's write an object for a default parameterized constructor. Demo d2 of 7 comma 8. Now what happens is, now let me execute a program. See, para constructor. Since I'm passing an or two arguments, so I have created a parameterized constructor with two arguments, isn't it? So this part is executed. Suppose here, if I'm adding one more argument, means I don't have any parameterized constructor with three arguments in my program. So again, I'll get an error as no matching found. Say I'm getting an error as no matching found. Since I have not created any constructor for sorry, constructor with three arguments. That's fine. So let me change this. Now again let me call the sum for d2, object d2. Now what happens, so 7 plus 8 will be added. That result will be displayed. See, 7 plus 8, 15 is displayed. Why so? Is d2 is the parameterized constructor. So parameterized value, constructor value is a value is 7 and b value is 8. So this one is displaying. Now let me write a constructor for a copy constructor. Okay, let's write one. Create a, yeah, I have already written here for a copy constructor, so no issues. I don't want to write it again. So let me create an object for a copy constructor demo d3 equal to d1. So which value I'm passing? D1 value. The D1 value is a D1. I have created an object D1. So that D1 I'm passing to D3. So value of D1 is 10 and 57. Is it? Sorry, 10 and 67. So now if I call the sum function, D3 dot sum of, if I call the sum function, now what will be the output? 10 and 67 will be added, and finally 77 is the output now. So let me write one more void display of cout is equal to, now let me call that display function. Now a value of, since I'm in the copy constructor, what I'm doing, I'm passing the default constructor to the copy constructor. So value of default constructor is 10 and 67 is the value of default constructor. So what will be displayed? A value is 10 and B value is 67 is displayed. Now let me write one more object, D4, and copying this the value of D2 to D4 now. So parameterized constructor D2 to D4. Now if I display the function D4 dot display of, now which one will be displayed? D2. I'm copying D2 to D4. So parameterized constructor, this constructor I'm passing. So now the value of A will be 7 and B will be 8. See, now the value of A is 7 and B is 8. So this is what about the constructor is. So now constructor is nothing but the class name. Main point of the constructor is the class name and the constructor name should be same, and there are three types: parameterized, default, and copy constructor. So that's it about the constructor. Thank you for watching the video.